Yo, man, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of the Players Ball Podcast, where we cover all sports far and wide. I'm your host, Roddy. Go ahead and get us on Twitter at the Players Ball One. Get us on Instagram at the Players Ball Podcast. Then go get me on Twitter and Instagram as well at Roddy404 on both platforms. Now, since football is over, we back to full swing NBA, full swing college basketball, all of that. And we thought the first guest of our, NBA second half of the season, because we've been covering a little bit first half. Our guy Wham is here, straight out of LA, Laker fan, super capper, hardest working man on streaming sites and platforms. My guy, how are you doing today, man?
Oh man, I love the intro, bro, and definitely it's a pleasure to be here. Appreciate you for even having me. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we could, chop it up, get to the players' ball. Happy to be inside of it. You know what I'm saying? And just to chop up some game with you. Hopefully we could talk about some winning culture. You know what I'm saying? At least what to look for. You know what I'm saying? Any type of aspect that's coming up next. But it's a lot of shit to talk about, man. NBA, bro.
Yeah, you are right, my brother. It is a lot of shit to talk about. Trust me on that. And I mean, you know where we got to go first, man. You see the hat he's
Yeah.
wearing, people. And it's icy too. He got the design on it. You know what I'm saying? That's what we doing nowadays. We got the designs on the fitted and shit like that. But
Say no
man,
more. Yeah. I'm trying to stick around. I'm trying to keep up with the, you know what I'm saying, with the Joneses a little bit. You feel me?
yeah,
Just a
you know
little
what I'm
bit.
saying? You know what I'm saying? Gotta get fresh for the first podcast appearance, my boy. I feel you.
Oh
That's what I'm
nah, look,
saying.
it's always love, bro. You already know.
But I mean, I guess we'll do the therapy session version of this podcast first, and we can figure out just like what is going on down there at the crypt. Whatever do y'all really call it that out there, or y'all still say Staples
Yeah,
Center,
yeah.
man?
It
Be
be it
honest.
be Crips in the Crypt though. It be Crips in the Crypt. It
Oh,
be Crips in the
nigga, you
Crypt.
ain't gotta tell me. Trust me. I be seeing them in there, and we ain't talk about no Snoop. We talk about ones that don't want to be shown on camera. Let's
Yeah,
just leave it at that.
they in the suites, bro. They in the suites. But yeah, nah. It's definitely gonna be a therapy session when we talk about anything LA sports. Obviously, the Rams just won, but this is a basketball talk right now. So you got
Yeah.
Kawhi. I'm gonna start off with the other team here first, real quick. You got
Okay,
Kawhi,
yeah.
sleeping, at his house with his sweats on, chilling, and then you got the Lakers, bro. Then you got the Lakers, man. Just keep fooling us. Obviously, they didn't have no anticipation of trying to win this year, and we seeing it unfold right now, bro. Terrible.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean, this is the thing. AD getting hurt is something I hate to say it like this, bro, but it's something that we low key expect to happen.
Uh,
Like, not to say that I hate that, people who say he's injury prone, this, that, and the third, because a
right,
lot of it's just unlucky, bro. Like the
right,
man ankle touched the ground and while he was standing up, and
right.
people are like, oh, well, he injury prone. So it's a lot of situations where maybe could he avoided it? Yeah, but is it his fault? Like, no, of course not.
Right.
And just with the construction of the team, which is where I want to start first. Um, were you thinking this was as bad of an idea as I was at the beginning of the season or when the trade went down for Russ?
So, so I have a lot of people that I talk to and consult with on a regular basis, and we've seen everyone's reaction once certain things start to happen for the Lakers. We all knew that Kuzma was going to be probably gone. It just didn't seem like
Mhm.
it was fitting well there. KCP and all those guys, I didn't think I knew too much about Caruso and all that stuff. I didn't really know what our plans were at the time, but I knew we were going to try to do something big because that's what they market to us. You know what I mean? They
Exactly.
market that they're going to try to do something big, and I think that alone you have some sort of optimism, like especially as a fan, you're just like, okay, like we just won a championship. We know like if the Lakers was healthy against the Suns, we probably would have beat them, and we probably would have won the championship again. So it's like, okay, maybe we are a
Mhm.
few players away. And then now it's like, damn, like you think about what happened when with the Russ and how much we have to give away. It's like, oh well, what type of Russ are we gonna get, or is there more to come? And that's what it was
Yeah.
for me. Like I'm optimistic. Like okay, there's going to be more things that's coming. Like we're not just going to just run this roster down with Russ. maybe a big and AD and LeBron. Like that doesn't seem like it's going to be, efficient enough to compete
Mm-hmm.
in the NBA. And I'm looking at numbers wise, I'm just trying to be efficient and be exciting. You know what I'm saying? So I see the excitement part with Russ. I'm like, okay, maybe this is trying to sell tickets. He from LA. This is cool. That's my first initial reaction. And I'm looking at everybody else's reaction. They already know they canceling Russ off jump because they don't trust Russ. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm giving him a chance because I don't really give a fuck about him being at DC. I don't care
Yeah.
about him playing for OKC. So I didn't care. But bro, to be honest with you, I was a blind fan in that aspect because everyone else that caught it, I knew that was sharp. They caught it early, and
Yeah.
they knew it was going to be done. It was pretty much over, and I kept finding ways to try to bet the Lakers and find myself finding my running right into a wall, like losing
Mm-hmm.
money, looking crazy. And I do this every day, bro. So it's even like more frustrating after that. You lose so much money on one particular team. You want to start, stabbing people in the hallway. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
type of vibe.
Yeah.
You feel
Yeah.
me? So I'm joking around there, of course. This is not no serious. We're not promoting violence, but I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
joking around. But for the most part
But the
though, bro,
feeling.
it
Yeah.
is a therapy session going on right now. I'm just trying to get my stuff off, and I appreciate the
Well,
players
let it
ball
out,
for
brother.
allowing me to get it out. So for the most part, though, bro, like I tell people all the time, like once Russ came, I thought he was going to do something, but once the moves didn't happen, it's obviously like now we're looking at future problems because you're already not able to move him, and if
Mm-hmm.
you're not able to move him and he's not looking good, you can't even get no team to dump on him. You can't even get him to dump somewhere. You got to start looking at what you have, and now you have just old LeBron and AD, and it's like you don't get rid of those two guys. It just doesn't make sense. You just got to let that play out as it is, and that's the real tough part about the situations because like you don't want. I joke around and say trade LeBron. You probably see me on the timeline. I said some crazy stuff on the timeline in the moment, but I'm not gonna tell you to trade LeBron. That's crazy, bro. Like I'm never gonna do that. Especially with the relationship to his agency. It's a whole different ball game, like long term
Mm-hmm.
wise, rather than doing it right now. So I don't think that's capable or even something to fathom at this point. But bro, it's tough, man. Today is another day that they play the Dallas. We're filming this right before they play Dallas, and everybody's like all on Dallas. But it's such a
Mm-hmm.
tough thing. Like now, as a gambler, and I'm not on that game today, but as a gambler, I'm thinking the Lakers got a chance, and that's the problem that I've been finding myself in all year, bro. Is that I can
Mm-hmm.
find a way to back them, but at the same time, I can see them getting blown out, and everybody being right that Dallas is going to smash them up. So it's
Yeah.
tough, bro. But honestly, I think they just trash team, trash organization. Um, they may be getting Magic Johnson. I heard back Michael Cooper say something about him. They want Magic Johnson to come back, and it's
He
just a
gonna quit
mess,
again.
bro. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he gonna
He gonna
quit
quit
again.
again.
It's just a mess, bro. It's just a mess. It
Yeah.
took DeAndre Jordan to hit a fan in the stands for him to get
For
paid,
them to
bro.
get
Like,
rid of that name.
come on, man. This shit is we
Hey,
cook,
bro.
bro. We cook,
Look,
bro.
this is my thing too with the trade. Because I wasn't a fan of it because I think Russ now is a player to where if you have true championship aspirations, I think everything has to be good around him, like
Right.
everything. And just with this scenario, the Lakers traded away a lot of key guys that they were not only getting a lot from defensively, but were able to do some things on the offensive end as well. My biggest issue though is this narrative with the king, as we say, and le GM is everybody's favorite little phrase to say of him, when the trade deadline comes up, which is fine. But I personally have a really hard time believing that LeBron was that dumb, man. Like, I really
Right.
have a hard time believing that LeBron sat there and was like, yo, you know what we could use in place of these multiple different pieces that we can use in different ways and this, that, and the third? We need Russ.
Let's
Like,
get more efficient with Russ. Like, who
yeah,
says
like
that?
I just can't believe that because LeBron is a guy who doesn't like turnovers. One, he wants a guy who can shoot the basketball. Another thing, like I'm not really understanding where the thought process was there. And if it was LeBron's decision, then I'm willing to give him criticism. I'm not one of them people who thinks LeBron's above that, of course. But with Rob Pelinka and Genie, we've kind of seen them do some questionable shit here and there, which
Man.
makes me feel like, I mean, maybe that was a them thing. Maybe that was a them idea. Like you said, LA boy, we're going to sell tickets even if AD gets injured. We got a reason for the fans to come to the game.
Right.
So even with all that being said, bro, I still think if y'all get in the play-in tournament and AD's healthy, no one's going to want to see y'all, bro. No one.
And that's the stupidest part about this situation, though, Roddy, bro. That's the stupidest part about the shit. Like, they can still beat everybody. They can still beat everybody. They just beat the Utah Jazz. I'm not saying Jazz is nice, but that's another team that's trying to be. That's a playoff team. They still could beat playoff teams. They're not that delusional. I mean, they're not that. Man, they're just not that bad. But at the same time, bro, it's like, you got Malik Monk, messing around with Iggy Azalea. Like, we've been down this road before as Laker fans. We don't like her, bro. She has something against
She's the
us,
omen.
bro.
She's the bad omen, bro.
She has something against us, bro. Ever since we seen a picture, the boy ain't been doing nothing since, bro. So it's like, oh man, like it's all bad, bro. On some real shit though, on some real shit, like all seriousness, bro. Like Lakers, we are cooked, man. I think, like you said, like and really, my whole thing with Russ too, because now I found myself my homies will say I'm the Russ attorney because I find myself defending him a lot. And it's tough to do this, you know what I'm saying? I'm literally a punching bag daily, when I open my mouth about Russ. And really, it's just all of me thinking, like, it's not on him, bro. He didn't ask for this. He was cool with just catching stats in Washington. Those boys out there catching stats. Kuzma's loving it. Kuzma having fun out there. He about to even get a bigger bag now, probably. You know what I'm saying? If he keeps this shit up. So he was cool with that. You took him from there to get him in this situation. I think it's kind of unfair, bro. Like, it's really unfair to Russ, man. I find myself defending them because, like you mentioned, bro, like Rob and Jenny, they ain't getting no snap. Like, Rob is getting it now, but Jenny, they just let her walk around free, bro. Like, she ain't getting nothing, man. She the one got Magic involved, got Rob next to him, had the situation with the Kurt Rambis on the dinner table conversation type shit, and then all that shit transpired to where we are today. Like, we got an injury prone AD. We got LeBron making movies and just promoting his shit, trying to chase a cap. It's like, we cook, bro. We cook,
hey,
bro.
Man.
For the foreseeable, for the future too, bro. We cook, bro.
Yeah, and look, that's why I said AD's health is really the important part. You were talking about speaking on betting on the Lakers, and that's really the only time I feel comfortable betting on them, when they have AD and they have a size advantage or whatever. But I'll end the Lakers therapy session with this, man. Like, again, y'all just got to get in the tournament, just and get healthy. Those only two things. Like, I really think beyond that point, it's really gonna be a situation where look, there might be a team that gives y'all hell, if y'all get in the actual tournament, but these two guys are too talented, bro. They way too talented. And for all of y'all that's hating on LeBron for going for the record and stat padding, please tweet me and tell me y'all wouldn't do the same thing if y'all was in the same position. If you had the opportunity to clear an NBA record that's been around for more than 30 years and you getting mad at the man for trying to go after it shamelessly, come on, man. Like, we all do shameless shit to make ourselves look better, bro. That's just, I mean, that's life, bro. So I don't know why these people like, oh, well, he's just the integrity of the game. Like, bro, get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. I don't want to hear that shit, man.
Yeah, man.
But
even your pastor out there doing some shameful shit.
Yeah, man.
slow down.
He the main one. But
he the main one.
We can get into that later, bro. You already know game. You up on game. But I want to go a couple hours north, and I want to go to the Bay in the shiniest new arena. I ain't go in it, but I just drove out there when I was out there in October. Bro, that's one hell of an arena. Just the outside of it. So I can only imagine inside. But that's the Warriors. Obviously, you see it on the ticker. I have been trying to tell Warriors fans that y'all need to stop lying about Clay. Okay. Now, first, I want to say that I don't want no Clay Thompson slander. I don't think he's ass. I don't think he's finished. I think he can still be a good player. But and I make this point based off of a point that I heard from Bomani Jones on his podcast. This team is constructed for both him and Steph to shoot abnormal from three, like abnormal, like way above league standards. So my question to you is, from what you've seen of Clay so far, do you have concern for him, or do you feel like, like every Warrior fan says, once Draymond come back, everything gonna be cool, bro?
Yeah, nah, I'm I'm at the point right now with the Warriors that, especially recently, because they have 7 games, and we could talk. I got it written down here. 5 of the last 7 games they lost, and the only 2 teams that they beat was one of the teams that we just had a therapy session with. It was the Lakers, and the other
Mm-hmm.
one is the Portland Trailblazers, who's pretty much fire selling left and right. So that doesn't look
Yeah.
too good. If you stick 2 playoff teams in those slots, they'd probably be 0-7 right now, and it'd be even worse than it is right now. So luckily they got the All-Star break to try to get out of that, or try to get guys coming back healthy. I'm right there
Mm-hmm.
with you though. I'm a little bit more optimistic, I guess, with Clay, but I guess I'm finding myself after talking to you on this podcast. I'm finding myself to be too optimist on all these, all these players, bro. They ain't show
I
shit.
feel.
I mean, Clay has some moments for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Last month for sure he had some moments, but laterally he even said it like he's not there, and he's probably not going to get there, maybe never. So that was one of his main things. His defense. He was a great 3-and-D guy. If you're just out there for three, I'm just saying, and you ain't hitting, you become one of those expendable parts of a championship piece.
Yep.
We might want to throw an athletic guy out there that's probably hitting the same hit at you, like, the fucking starter of the All-Star game, fucking Andrew
Mm-hmm.
Wiggins and shit. Like, he probably
Yeah.
shoot better than Clay at this point. So that shit ain't looking too good. But on an honest note there, but I didn't really think about it that way, to be honest with you. I'm thinking more so the slumps with Steph kind of show that, maybe last year carrying the load and getting to the nitty gritty of this year, maybe his body is kind of like, getting to you get older, bro. I'm older as well, you know what I'm saying? So I understand when you
Aches and
get to a
pains,
certain age,
man.
yeah, get to that point, bro. You know what I'm saying? A little icy
Mm-hmm.
hot, like Shaq would say, bro. But
Hell yeah.
yeah, yeah, you feel me? I just think the Golden State Warriors, they maybe, they may have just sold they soul or some shit, bro. Like the way they doing these rookies, bro. The way they doing these rookies, the way they was doing certain guys, the Harrison Barnes situation. You can go on and on about how many times these guys just tried to reinvent the wheel, even with the damn arena, like you mentioned, bro. Like they just try to do too fucking much, and maybe this shit biting your ass later on down the line. We know what type of franchise they were before Steph. You know, ain't that many people want to slide up to the Bay. It doesn't seem like even with those guys, not that many people
Yeah.
wanted to go besides KD. So,
Yeah.
they did get other guys there, but it just doesn't seem like it worked out with D'Lo. I'm not trying to think of somebody else that went over there. It doesn't seem like it works out with some of those
Oubre.
guys like Oubre. Exactly, I was talking
Mm-hmm.
about him too. That there it is. So,
Mm-hmm.
but it's I don't I say this though. I say this. Obviously, if those guys are healthy, and Draymond is a definite important piece. Like that, you don't just you lose a Draymond Green out of a lineup that's been there for so long, that knows these guys left and right. Like he could literally give a look to this guy and get him open. Right now, he's not getting that type of looks right now. So you're not getting that shit with Kuminga out there. Kuminga out there fouling and jumping over motherfuckers. You know what
Being
I'm saying?
athletic, literally. Yeah.
He's being young. You feel me? Ain't nothing wrong with that. But you ain't doing the same intellect that Draymond Green is on the floor. So I think it will make a difference. I don't think it's gonna end all be all though, for sure. Like they're still gonna
Yeah.
have their self to have troubles, but the West seems like it's kind of open right now with CP3 out too. So the West finally, I mean not finally, but it seemed like it may be a little bit more wide open than we anticipated coming into this, All-Star break. So it's kind
Oh yeah.
of, yeah, it's kind of interesting to see how this is going to shake up. But I think the Warriors' woes maybe even more so in the next few weeks. Like I'm not about to back them in any circumstances of them being a favorite,
Heck
especially
no.
like today in this situation. They were underdogs today
Mm-hmm.
against the Timberwolves, and Edwards kind of got out. So now it's like, okay, now the line moves towards them a little bit more, about 2 or 3 points. I'm thinking that maybe just a little bit overreaction. They could find themselves losing. I'm not sure if this game is on right now. I think it is starting
Oh
on.
yeah, well
Yeah, I
that
think
was
that
what
game
I
is
was
on.
about to bring up, my boy. They
Yeah,
down 11 in Minnesota right now. I mean,
see,
Steph's
and that's what I'm
got
saying.
18, but he 3 for 10 from three. And look, bro, I know I'm about to sound insane when I say this, and I hope people don't come and find my house, Warriors fans especially. I think it's time for Steph to start shooting a little less threes, bro. I'll be
Bro,
honest.
some of those threes, bro, you need to tone those ones that you doing this shit, and we know you are, bro. You ain't put your legs in it or nothing. You just throwing that shit up.
Bro,
Come
I'm
on,
telling
dog.
you, and I'm
You
not
good?
saying again, Warriors fans, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying he stinks. I'm not saying any of that. Okay. I'm just saying you can't just expect to take 10 threes again. I mean, bro, it's like 10 minutes left in the third. He's taking 10 threes in the game. Like you
I just you know which ones I'm talking about though, bro. I'm not talking about
mhm.
him running around and catching and shooting, or I'm talking about the ones that he's like you literally didn't allow your offense to get set or anything. You just chunked it up because you hit
Mhm.
a few in a row. Some of those need to stop. That's what I'm thinking. I think some of those need to stop, even though he hits them, but he hasn't really consistently hit them like that. What since the All Star break? Feel me?
Yeah, like for
Since
real,
the
bro. And that's
exposition
what I'm
game.
saying. Like
That's
I
crazy.
just I don't want to diminish his value in any way. And if it does, then they're gonna have to work out, okay, if you want to take these threes, we got to do it to where it's at least smart.
Right.
But I just think the one main thing before we leave this is the value on Draymond is high. I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, a guy who is in his 30s coming off a back injury, like you just said, bro, when you get older, you can't heal as quick. It's just
At
it's
all.
just life, okay?
At all, bro.
And he's coming off of months missing a back injury. Like not just a couple weeks, not just it was a little strain, like he's been
Right.
out for months at this point. And I don't know how as a Warriors fan you could feel confident and putting full faith into him knowing that at all. Like I don't know, but maybe I mean, do you feel like that makes sense? Because I don't.
Hell nah, bro. I mean, I don't expect no one, especially after this type of NBA. Guys have been playing for so long. They well conditioned. Got to get in conditioning. You got to get your conditioning correct, and then you'll be able to get compete. So it may take a while, but I do think that his cerebral is just going to help. But it just may not be enough, man. He's not helping that much shooting. He's just going to help you a lot on the defensive side. So
Hmm.
the offense is what's really struggling, like you mentioned, bro. I didn't even know they were down that much, but it shows, bro. We was talking about it, man. We spoke it in existence.
Yeah, bro. I mean, look, man, and I want the Warriors to do well. We'll talk about the overall scope, I guess, of the West in a second. But there was bigger news that we did have to get to before we do that, and that is the new look Philadelphia 76ers. I know if Sosa's watching this, he's crying tears of joy still, because
Really
finally the
good.
man who just decided not to shoot in the fourth quarter, like the entire series, is gone finally. So with this new look Philly team, I mean, they've only played 2 games. The Knicks game obviously looked really good. Him and Embiid look like they really coexisted pretty well. But my question for you would be, how do you feel about them, in a playoff situation, a situation to where, they would have to go up against the Bulls or the Heat. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you feel like they would still fare well?
So that. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they get matched up into the playoffs and what teams will have. With the teams that I believe that's going to have issues are the teams that's going to have the more of the shooting. I really believe those first 2 games, obviously small sample size, they show well
Mhm.
performances for both players that's involved in like the main 1-2 punch here in Harden and Embiid. So the pick and roll definitely looks nice. Seems like that may be an unstoppable situation. But if you think about it, in the playoffs, things get a lot more smaller. Guys have to show up a little bit more, and then coaches are going to try to take advantage of what guys don't do well. And we know there's some guys on this Philadelphia 76ers team that are going to get minutes in playoff games. Tobias Harris, Danny Green, Matisse Thybulle, those guys are going to be shown. Are you going to hit that? Or do you have corner specialists on bronze, or is this motherfucker on Hoff, bro? Because we need you to have it on Hoff, bro. We need Danny Green to have his shit on Hoff. We need at least Matisse Thybulle to be on silver, but we know he don't even got the badge, bro. So he don't even got the badge. So it's one of those things, man. I'm not taking those two games against the Timberwolves and the Knicks too serious, bro, because both of those teams, I mean, as far as the Timberwolves guys shooting, but they don't really have shooters. I mean, probably had Patrick Beverly take 7 threes that game or some shit. I didn't look at the stats,
Yeah,
but
like what the
you know what
hell?
I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're not talking about Luke Kennard and like, say for instance, if it was a Clippers team, I know they don't play out east or anything, but a team like that with a lot of wings, or let's just say the Heat, they get matched up with the Heat. It could be an interesting series. It could be an interesting series because you got guys that may be a little bit more streaker and may be able to get the buckets down a little bit much more. But I think the Heat probably will fucking get smacked up, to be honest with you guys, because I just think Bam, even though he's good, he's gonna have tough. Even if they double him, because they're gonna have to double Embiid. You're gonna have James Harden shoot at a higher clip than what he's normally used to in the playoffs, because it's the playoff James Harden that we're talking about right now. So it's a lot of questions here. I'm not trying to
Yes.
rain them yet. They're not trying. I think the East is so freaking from playing up. Like, the worst team is the Hornets, and that's a team that we really don't know what type of playoff team this is yet, because they're a young team. Like, and you get guys that could just go off on that team. They don't play that much defense, but they can score a lot of points on that team. So it's a lot of teams out west. I'm sorry, out east that could definitely give the Sixers issues there. But I do like the trade, though. I will say getting a guy for guys um, that wasn't doing anything. I think that is a plus for the Sixers, and especially as far as what they're doing right now. They did the process. Now, the process, this is the end of the process that we're seeing. So
Literally.
right now we're seeing the end of the process, and the ending of the process is just, we're going to go all in on this now. So I feel like it is worth it, because the draft picks don't mean anything, because we already have Embiid at a high level right now. He's MVP. We got to capitalize right now. So I do like that look. I do think that they got fleeced just like anybody else. You could just obviously see they got fleeced, because Brooklyn
Yeah.
should be trailing. Like, they're on flats right now. Brooklyn's on flats right now, and they just gave them a lot of air in their tire with Drummond, with Seth Curry, and all those guys. And then they're gonna get a guy that wasn't playing, and they got draft picks for the future. It's just a lot of things to unpack as far as that trade, which is a lot of question marks for me. But I think James Harden will probably do a little bit better. This is the best big man he's ever played with, so it is going to be something said about that. And then, are the double teams going to hurt Embiid, and are these guys going to make shots? That's the only thing for me. Like, I don't trust their shooters. Niang is their best shooter, and Court Moss. Those are their best shooters, bro. And you know what I mean? Like, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Yeah.
They got rid of Seth Curry. And then you're gonna say James Harden next. You probably will say James Harden next, or
Yeah.
maybe even Tobias Harris. James Harden and Tobias Harris, they're pretty much neck and neck. You know what I mean? In my opinion. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that shit works, bro. I know Tobias Harris probably gonna fumble the bag, bro. He gonna fumble the
Oh, bro,
bag,
you already
and then
know
everybody gonna
Tobias.
blame him. See, he talked all that shit
Oh,
about Ben.
God.
He should have came to Ben's defense, and he probably would have had somebody else to blame next year. But now this shit is on you, brother. That's on you,
Yeah.
Tobias. What you gonna do, bro? So, yeah, man, it's gonna be funny, man. I really believe that yeah, social should be happy about this trade for sure, because the process is complete. But man, bro, let's see how this shit is gonna happen, man. How these guys are gonna compete, bro, down the line, man. It's gonna be very interesting, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, with the Nets, because I want to cover their angle first with it.
Yeah,
Um, I think they got better because one, they got what they needed. Seth isn't the most amazing player in the world, but he can put the ball on the ground and he can
right.
shoot. That's what they need right now. There were a lot of guys there that just can't do that or you wouldn't want them to do that. Either one. Now with Ben, I think, just like you said, this is the best big man that James has ever played with, and these are the best two scorers that Ben has played with, easy. Like, and I'm talking about since Montverde. Like, these are two dudes who are going to be in the Hall of Fame, like for sure, and that can get 30 whenever they want to.
Right.
So I think his role in this is going to be completely diminished to the point where he is going to want to shoot, because he's going to be that open. Like, he's going to be a little bit more open off ball. I think you can do a lot of things with him off ball that involve cutting and, you know what I'm saying, just different stuff that'll keep him from literally having to shoot consistent jump shots.
Right.
It's just what it is. Now, in terms of Philly, like you were saying, bro, and my biggest angle with this is Tyrese Maxey, because I know a lot of
Yeah.
Philly fans are really optimistic about him. But I was looking at his stats, and he was shooting before the trade 37% from three. And he was having double the attempts, obviously because no Ben. But I mean, he was shooting 30% last year with Ben. And I know he was coming off the bench, different role, less minutes, this, that, and the third. But the leap that this guy took, from my perspective, is because he's had the ball in his hands more. And
Right.
now you're about to take that out of his hands. So my real interest really is, how are these guys, one, going to get consistent scoring? Because there are going to be games where Embiid and Harden and just, the bare minimum from the other guys is going to be enough. But
Right.
is it going to be consistent? Are you going to be able to have that same level of defensive prowess as well? Because Philly was
That's
really
the
a good
problem.
defensive team. And, Thibault's obviously a great defender, but that's kind of where it stops on the word great defender, at least.
Yeah.
So I really think, like you said, I think it was a fleecing, but it was like a light fleecing because you did get an MVP caliber player. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's not like you just like gave up, you know what I'm saying, your whole future for this one move. That's not the
Right.
case. It's just
Right.
more, you got to see, one, how you do in the offseason, how you can build on what you got now, but two, just you got to see who you can exploit, pure and simple. So with the Sixers, man, I don't know what my expectations for them are, just because I can't see it yet. We got to see more, and we will see more tomorrow. Definitely gonna be excited to watch that game. So we'll get into that tomorrow. And I know we'll let you promo your shows that you're gonna be on tomorrow as well, so you
For
can get the
sure.
people the good gambling information. But I
For
want to
sure.
kind
For
of
sure.
switch gears here, and I gotta talk about Ja. And
MVP.
man, and I love him. I love him to death. Like, I think his mentality towards the game, the way he came in the game, the way he goes about, trying to get better at the game, I really think it's amazing, fantastic. And I wanted to talk about this because, like you said, the landscape of what's going on with the top two teams in the West. Obviously the Suns got that injury that's killer, like killer,
Right.
killer, killer. And then you also have, like we were saying, the Warriors having issues. And my main thing was that the Grizzlies, bro, the Grizzlies have to be chomping at the bit to get back, after the All-Star break, after they found out that Chris Paul injury. I think, even though the gap is pretty wide, they can make up for it. I think they can definitely play really well this March, and they could be, 2 seed, damn near competing for the 1 seed. So my question for you is, how do you feel about the team? Ja is obviously a star, but the Grizzlies team overall, which is 12-2 without Ja, how do you feel about them and how they perform?
Yeah. It's so crazy to think about the level that you come from. Like, you go to a Memphis team that was so bad, bro. That was so
Mm-hmm.
bad. You know what I'm saying? That they had Mike Conley in purgatory, bro. Like, he couldn't get out of there. You know what I mean?
Nope.
He was stuck. And
Gasol, all of
you
them.
got Gasol, all those guys, man. Like, you retired Tony Allen. Like, everything is just pretty much shambled from there. And then now you
Mm-hmm.
just do a rebuild, like a microwave rebuild, like they just warmed up some noodles, and it was just the best dish ever. But the noodles actually end up to be like some hibachi, you know what I'm saying, with shrimp and lobster inside of it, or something like. Bro, like what? How did this all happen? Like, how did this? How did you turn a Civic into a fucking Ferrari? Is my crazy question here. Like, man, just getting guys like Desmond Bain, that should win Most Improved, or at least should
Mm-hmm.
be in consideration. I really want
Oh
Darius
yeah.
Garland to do it, but obviously the injury may hinder that there for him. But neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
Ja Morant, though, bro, I just feel like it's disrespectful to say anything about him other than MVP. The fact that he's a favorite to win Most Improved, I feel like that's disrespectful. That's another agenda, man. For that's white supremacy. I tell y'all, that's white supremacy. That's exactly what that shit is. It's only right. I'll tell y'all straight up on the players' ball. You got to hear live from me, bro. That's exactly how I feel. That's how I feel. I'm telling the truth, bro. But yeah, I just don't. I just think he should win MVP. Now, I say this though: if he get MVP, if he get Most Improved, he better win MVP too. That's all I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
say. Because right now, even though even though he had that run, they had that small run. I feel like this is a cop out on not giving him MVP because they had a small little run, won like about 10 plus games without Ja in the lineup. About a few weeks he was out. They went on a crazy one against teams that they shouldn't have been beaten, but they are the deepest team in my opinion. I feel like this team is so deep, bro. You got Tyrus Jones who probably should be starting on some of these teams that's missing out on guys or that have guys that shouldn't be really playing right now. He's a really good point guard. Then you got guys that's coming off the bench, contributing like Zaire Williamson coming out of nowhere, having great production. The team is pretty much going to go on a run. Will they catch them? I don't know. Does seem like the Suns may, and I think they have an easier schedule, so I think it may be a little tough for them to catch them 7 games there. But I do think they could catch the Warriors, especially because what we talked about, Steph struggles, that team struggles being injured there. I think they can
Mm-hmm.
catch them and be the second seed, and that's enough for me to give him MVP. Man, I know
Yeah.
Joel Embiid is going to look a little bit less MVP ish with James Harden production, so maybe he'd be able to sneak in there. Jokic, he shouldn't be able to win it, bro. We gave it to you already, bro. It's all good. You get Michael Porter
Mm-hmm.
Jr. back. Enjoy that. That's it. You know what I'm saying? But Ja
Yeah.
is amazing, bro. Dropping a 50 burger on the same night as dropping the best dunk of the year. And I may be
Man.
overhyping the dunk, but the dunk was it's definitely one of those top 3 dunks of the year, I would at least say.
Oh
And
yeah.
without having to go back for sure, bro. And 52? Come on, bro. Come on, man. Like,
I
it's
mean,
only right,
yeah.
man. It's only right, bro.
And that's the thing with MVPs, bro. And even with football, it's like this. Like you have to have those plays or games or series or whatever that you just show, dog. I'm that nigga. Like I'm a dog. Like that's really what you got to
Right.
do every single time. And I really just feel like they are they are in the best opportunity I think they've had all year. I think their consistency throughout the year. I mean, they started 9 and 10 and they're still a third seed, right? So
Yeah.
if if they can stay consistent through this month, they'll get their reward. They'll get that top 2 seed, honestly, either one
Right.
or two. Now, and again, with you saying Bane, Jaren Jackson is a blessing for them. I mean, all of these guys who they really like only 3 years in, bro. Like
Right.
this is the crazy thing. They're only like 3 years in. So
And they got the
I really
recipe though, bro. They got the recipe.
oh my God, they do. And I think they're gonna be again, they're gonna be hell, man. Like that first series, I can see them sweeping first series, bro. I'm not even
For
playing.
sure.
Like, I really think that could be really one of the most just pure annihilation. Like, I just think it could get ugly quick. Depending on who they play, though, of course, it's
So
all about
yeah,
matchups, like you said.
the play in right now is stacked at the Pelicans, which probably gonna beat the Lakers if they play the Lakers. They gonna beat the Lakers, or no? I believe it'll be the Lakers play the Clippers, and the Pelicans play the Timberwolves. So
Mhm.
that right there is that right there is interesting, bro. Oh my
Yeah.
apology. I had it right the first time. My fault. It's the ninth and
Mm.
10th play first, and the 7th, 8th. Whoever wins get locked in at
Yeah.
7. And then the 8th get the chance the second round on that on the play in there. So that's probably what I should have said. But I agree with you though, bro. I love this Memphis team, man. I really do, man. They're really good in the first half as far as betting like what we think when we're looking at games. We're thinking about what they do well, and they come out hot every game. They the best in the points in the paint. So if I'm thinking about fading them, or if I'm thinking about betting against them, I'm thinking about what the team that they're going up against. How are they allowing opponents to score in the paint? We know that's his main catalyst there. Is he going in the paint, dunking, and going in there doing crazy layup packages and stuff like that. So on the betting
Yeah.
aspect of it, definitely looked in that way, but man, bro, the way this plan is shaking up, bro, I
It's
could
gonna be
definitely see
murder.
them. I could see them. I could see them sweeping these 4 teams that we're talking about. Even if they play
Mm-hmm.
any of these teams, I could see them
Mm-hmm.
sweeping the Clippers. Obviously, if they have Kawhi, it's different. The Lakers,
Yeah.
if they have AD and Bron, it's different, of course. But
Mm-hmm.
the Pelicans and the Timberwolves, they play those two. They play those two right there. I could definitely see them sweeping them. And you don't want my main reason what Steph and them. I don't think they're going to go to the finals or they will get that far because they gonna play the Memphis Grizzlies the second round, bro. The way this shit's stacking up, regardless if
Mm-hmm.
they get the second seed or if they get the third seed, it seems like that's gonna be the one that moves, and they're gonna have to play them, bro. They're gonna have to play them, bro. And we already know what type of time they on when they play each other. It seems like it's Ja versus Steph, and Steph been losing on that battle. You know what I mean? He's been losing that battle. They lost it last year. I wouldn't be surprised they lose it this year, man. So I
Mm-hmm.
like that matchup, man. I'm really looking for betting that. If we get in the playoffs, then I'm also really looking to see how this playing shake up, bro. See what we got to finalize those 7 to 8 spots.
Yeah, man. And again, like you were saying, both sides playing tournament, bro. Man, it's finna be hell on earth, bro. It's really finna be hell on earth. So I'm excited for the last little stretch of the season, man. I really think it's gonna be like insane. I think April is gonna be one of the months where we just like, bro, we getting total chaos. We getting, really sure and really close races, depending on what seeding is and all that good jazz. So I'm
Right,
excited, bro. I think this is gonna chalk up to be one of the better seasons that we've had in the last 5 or so years. But I did want to cover before we go the MVP for you thus far. Now, I would
yeah,
have to say just Embiid off the strength because I mean,
right,
he's been dominant. He's been the one that's had the longevity. Even though he's missed some games, I still think he's been really dominant. But I'm with you, man. Like, if John and them can get 1, 2 seed, like, and especially if the Bulls start to tail off a little bit, because I think your LA guy DeMar should be, I mean,
considered, bro, for sure.
bro, like
I
just
say
what he's
top three.
doing right now. Dude, like what he's doing right now, I couldn't have seen it in Toronto. I couldn't have seen it in San Antonio. So
Nah,
just the culmination of all of that coming together, I really feel like even if he wins most improved, bro, I wouldn't even think that was the craziest thing ever either, because we
right.
just haven't seen him act like this. So from your perspective, who is your number one guy in the MVP race right now?
Yeah, I think right now, as it stands, you got to go with Embiid, bro. It's the right answer right now. In the moment, I am in the moment, so I am going to say Ja is my MVP. The way I
Hmm.
think the way the season is going to finish off, and I probably hinted around it a little bit. I think I did. I think that James Harden is going to kind of dim the light on the MVP for Embiid, even though he's going to flourish in that system that they're going to be running there. But like you mentioned as well, I think they kind of do need to know, like, focus, like, okay, we need Maxi to be for
Hmm.
sure our third guy. So maybe getting all 3 of those guys involved throws it off a little bit for MB. So that's my point of saying I think these guys want it for Ja. You know what I mean? I think the
Yeah.
team wants it for
Hmm.
Ja. I think the city wants it for Ja. You know, I mean, it's only right, bro. It's only right, man. Like, rest in peace, young Dolph. They came out and balled out the next time. You feel me?
Bro.
like this season is just wrapped around them being fucking awesome, bro. So I'm going to definitely vote. I'm definitely going to just be rooting for all those guys to get all the accolades, most improved for Bane and John Morant to get MVP. That's where I'm going to be locked in on. But if I was to make a bet right now, it's going to be Ja for sure because you're getting value in it right now. Because, like
Mm-hmm.
I said, it's going to right now. It's going to be the favorite in B. He's clear cut right now. If it ends today, it's going to be him. But the way the season is kind of, I anticipating these next 20 games to be. I believe that Ja has a chance to cash a big ticket. I believe it's plus 1,600 in some spots for
Ooh,
MVP. So I do like Ja Morant. That
yeah.
would be what I'm looking at for sure.
That's worth a little sprinkle for real, man. I might
You know
have
what
to
I'm
go
saying?
on. Look, my computer right here. I might have to load my book up in a minute, see what that's popping for, my boy. But
Yeah,
definitely so,
man.
bro. I really think Ja is just, I mean, man, he's crazy, bro. He's just crazy. I don't even know how to say it further than that. He's just crazy. But you did say that you did want to get into some futures that you have coming up
Right.
after March Madness, because, like we said, Wham is a super capper, so he does handicap. Basically, you do every sport, don't you, bro? Like except like
Yeah,
soccer
nah,
and stuff like that.
yeah. Well, World Cup, I would try to dabble in soccer. I did have France last World Cup, so I did was successful
There you
in
go.
that situation. But yeah, man, like I try to get into everything. When the pandemic dropped, I got into esports, Counter Strike. You know what I'm saying? It got dark at one point, but we did a little bit capping everywhere. We found information and we bet accordingly in every spot. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man, I definitely think that the futures. I'm gonna start looking into a little bit more futures. Maybe I'll be on here before then. We give a little bit more like exact bets that I did make, but for
Oh
this
yeah.
show right now, we'll just give it like what I'm thinking here. I did say
Mm-hmm.
Ja at plus 1,600. That is a bet that I am looking into there. As far as I do have the Celtics to win the division at plus 1,000. Right now, you're
Ooh.
probably getting like plus 500 or some sort
Mm-hmm.
of around there. They got to
Mm-hmm.
catch up to this Sixers team. They're about five games back. They did win
Mm-hmm.
the last time, so they do own a tiebreaker. So I feel like that's probably a good look right there. We know the Sixers playing really well. They're winning right now. They came back with what you call it getting injured today. So Jalen Brown did get injured today. Got helped off the floor, but they did find a way. It looks like they're going to win against the Hawks. So the more wins
Yeah.
they get, the better that looks for me. So that's another look
Yeah.
that I would endorse to bet right now. You're still getting plus money. I still see the value in betting that right now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I'm thinking here to probably hedge. I did take Jalen Green to win Rookie of the Year preseason. Obviously, that's falling flat on my ass. But I think Cade has a shot to catch Mobley here, bro. I think Cade has a shot to catch Mobley, and he's kind of
Mm-hmm.
shown it since after the All Star break. They've been playing really well. They covered today, didn't win, but they
Crazy.
covered. He had
Mm-hmm.
20 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists.
Oh
I
yeah.
think Cade may be on that trajectory of catching that MVP. And plus, you think about the aspect. I think our guy Reek said this. He has 2 All-Stars on his team, bro. So that kind of would be factored in, I believe, into voting.
Yep.
He's kind of holding down the whole fort down there in Pistons, and he's being the main guy after Jeremy Grant, did some bitch ass shit mid season and stuff like that. So neither here nor there, but I am looking at
Mm-hmm.
Cade to win Rookie of the Year. Those are the futures that I would think to be making here. But again, I haven't made those bets exactly. Waiting for March Madness to sit down. We got conference tournament this week. I'm about to jump into
Mm-hmm.
that. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really been in college basketball all year, but this is the time for me. I'm just jump in, get right for the March Madness season. So that's it, bro. And as far as like the to win the championship, bro, I think it's up for grabs.
Oh
It's
yeah.
really up for grabs. So I would want to maybe bet that type of stuff right before the playoffs. So I might be locking in some of those things towards the playoffs. Once I see the matchups, possible matchups, and
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature, it gives me a little bit more clarity. We can make right bets rather than just the instant bet. So it's all about betting wise, betting appropriate. Don't bet too much that you can't lose. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and have fun with this shit too, man. Sometimes you can bet with your heart, bro,
Yeah.
and cash. Don't try to be
Mm-hmm.
too analytical all the time. I definitely don't try to use analytics all the time, but it definitely does a lot help. You know what I mean? Because you gotta try to predict what's going to happen, at least what type of rotations to see. So, and then I'll also lead this gym here as well. It's only for the players, but I don't talk too much about this. But I cross reference my fantasy lineups, my guys. Got to do that, man. You're getting two different markets on different players. Then you're getting player prop markets. You get to see the variance and where these guys are lying at. So they'll have this one guy that's heating at 10,000 for the day, and then they'll have a 13 points per game points prop, 13 and a half points prop. So I'm going to obviously go to the 13 and a half points. I might not use them in my lineup, but I do see a value in that. So I did that and learned a lot within like hockey, golf, shit that I normally don't watch, and it pays well. So you don't got to watch all the sports. Listen to people, follow beat writers. There's unpaid help out there. You just go to Twitter and follow them. That's all you got to do.
Yeah,
so it's only right, bro. It's only right.
And it boosts the community.
Man. You did. It's only right. You know what I'm saying?
And it boosts the community. That's why we appreciate you for coming on with us tonight. We really do know that you a Laker fan, so you're getting ready for the game. I'm gonna definitely get you out of here before that comes on. So tell the people where they can find you and get that free game that you were talking about, because you give out a lot of it, my boy. That's why we wanted to show y'all to the people.
Nah, man, I appreciate you having me, Roddy, man. I'm definitely a big fan of what you're doing, having the community linked up through all sports, bro. That shit is dope as hell. Shout out to my guy. And yeah, you can find me on Twitter. I'm Walter Trotter Tucson. It's my real name. Trot Wham on Twitter. Hoopbanging Sports Talk is my YouTube channel. I do have a Monday through Friday show on Pub Sports Radio, the NBA Pub Show. I do some guest appearance on the channel as well throughout the shows there. So they got great content for actual MMA. They have MMA stuff on there, you know, with actual MMA fighters and everything. We have some people inside the chat. One of my homies is, you know, a retired NFL Pro Bowler. He does capping with us. We just a big ass community. So, you know what I mean? You never know who you may see. You never know who you may fuck around with. We live in LA. This shit is small. We know people that got it for real. So you never know who you may be out there with. So I'm lucky to be out here, live out here my whole life, bro. And be blessed to have kids and a wife that support me, bro. So, you know, I appreciate you. Appreciate everybody for watching in, man. And make sure y'all like and subscribe to my guy channel, man. You're doing big things, bro.
Yes, sir, for sure. And he is now a contributor to the Players Ball podcast as well. He can add that on his resume and it'll look like, you know what I'm saying, he worked for Google, Apple, all of them. All right. So thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. Again, the Players Ball 1 is where you can get us on Twitter. It's the number 1. And then at the Players Ball podcast on Instagram is where you can get us there. We will be back next week. I know we said we're doing 2 pods a week, but we will start that next week. I apologize. I had a few things come up, but we will start the 2 pods a week next week. Definitely going to get into more NBA stuff. The Hawks just lost, so I'm about to go drink my pain away. But other than that, it's been Wham. It's been your boy, Roddy. This is the Players Ball Podcast, and we'll holla at y'all later.